Steam Next Fest, an event where game developers post their demos online for the world to experience and play for an entire week. An event where many games have their first introduction to the public. An event where we get a true taste of the future of gaming. Yes, the fated Steam Next Fest event has just ended, and there were a lot of demos I got to try, and I want to talk about them. Game demos are so important to the lifespan of a game. So much so we already did a video on demos themselves, but I wanted to cover Steam Next Fest, not only to introduce you to some great games, but also to talk about which of these great games I want to see on the Nintendo Switch. It's as I always say, the Steam demos of today are the Switch games of tomorrow, or the Switch 2 games of tomorrow, or whatever the successor will be called. I wasn't able to go over every single game, there were literally hundreds of demos, but out of the ones I did play, I wanted to pick my favorites, and the ones I think would fit perfectly on the portable console. Not all these games are confirmed for Switch, but I do hope they come to the console. So let's not waste any time. Here are 10 Steam Next Fest games I want on the Nintendo Switch, in no particular order. First off, Scarlet Deer Inn. In Scarlet Deer Inn, you play as Elise, a mother of two in this embroidery-themed platformer. And yes, embroidery, as in literally every character was made with embroidery and digitally transferred into the game. You can tell with the designs of the characters, and it looks absolutely incredible with the animations. Even just walking around, the frames look cool. The backgrounds look gorgeous too, as they not only look like paintings, but they help display the Slavic folklore in a beautiful way. The story gets super emotional as you do errands for people in the town, at least for the first half of the demo. The second half of the demo I don't want to give away, as it truly caught me off guard in the best way possible, and I don't want to rob you of that experience. Scarlet Deer Inn is as beautiful game as it is unique, and I hope to see it on Switch. Wishlist it now. Next up, a much goofier game called Building Relationships. Did you ever want to play a game where you romance houses? No, I'm not kidding. This game is all about the relationships of buildings, as you and the other buildings are on an island and are all looking for love. The graphics remind me of something I would see on the Nintendo 64. Very blocky, but it kinda adds to the goofy tone. The real star of the show is the humor, as the dialogue from the characters and our responses to them nearly had me in stitches with laughter. Also, how do you move as a romancing house? Why, you tumble like you're in Katamari, bouncing around with funny sound effects, of course. This game is definitely a goofy one, and isn't afraid to be as ridiculous as possible. It knows what it wants to be, and I had a smile on my face through the entire demo. Building Relationships is sure to build up to being a wonderful game on Switch. Wishlist it now. Have you ever wondered what you would get if you combined the creature collecting of Pokemon with the mechanics of volleyball? Well, wonder no more, because that's what you get in Beastie Ball. The demo starts with us making our main character. Ah yes, a bald option. Excellent choice, thank you. And trying to save the Beastie Nature Preserve from being torn down in order to make a new stadium. You do this by raising beasties of your own and forming your own creature volleyball team to advance through the leagues. The presentation in this game has a far more cartoony feel to it than Pokemon, and I love it. I also love the expressions of the character you control throughout the dialogue, and how your character literally speeds up like a cartoon character when he runs. The designs of the beasties are super adorable, and feel like Pokemon, while obviously being their own world of monsters. No Pal World stuff going on here. Also, the gameplay of the volleyball is super satisfying, and there are tons of flashy animations going on, really adding impact to the action. I'm so happy I backed this game on Kickstarter, and I cannot wait to see the final product. I hope it comes to Switch after its eventual release. Wishlist it on Steam now. Let's wait a moment and take everything in at this point. Why are we waiting, you ask? Because of While Waiting, of course. While Waiting is a game where you wait. The demo has you at the end of each task waiting and doing things while you wait. Going throughout your day waiting to do things like go through traffic, score a goal, get through a work meeting, or even starting your life and being born. you gotta wait for that too. The fun comes in finding the little achievements for each level, seeing how you can occupy your time and what you can discover, while you wait. The presentation is clean and simple, drawings with little to no color, but it has an almost simple charm to it that fits the whole vibe of the game. It has tons of that charm, and it's certainly worth playing, and I'm sure it'll be worth the wait to see it on Nintendo Switch. Wishlist it now. Next up is a murder mystery comedy with point and click. Locomotive. Locomotive, which is one of my personal favorites, is a game where you are aboard a train where a murder has taken place, and you must clear your name by finding out who the real culprit is. The game has spectacular pixel art, with this old-timey train and each character having a memorable design. The demo was fully voice-acted with a talented cast, and so many of the lines are performed with great comedic timing. There were so many moments in the demo that had me on the floor laughing. I adored it. The gameplay is point and click, very similar to Monkey Island, always with a witty line said or a special detail mentioned when going through even the smallest of items. There are certainly quite a few puzzles in this demo to keep you occupied. Locomotive was such a great surprise, and I loved every bit of it. This is one of the few games that I know of that is getting a Switch version officially, which is nice. It fits perfectly on the Nintendo console. Let's hope the full game is just as impressive and development stays on the right track. Wishlist Locomotive now. Who knew running a Lost and Found could be a game? The makers of Lost but Found did just that. You run a Lost and Found station, sorting random items on a conveyor belt. You must make sure items are off the belt and claimed by customers, asking for their missing stuff. You must make sure the right item's requested, that there's enough space to put it on the table, all while getting money from tips so you don't go broke. It's a really addicting game that ramps up in the difficulty as the levels go on, especially after there's so many items on your table. Literally, it got to the point that I couldn't find missing items I knew I had because there was just so much stuff. You can use money to buy upgrades, like more table space and a magnifying glass to see the price of items. Sorting items, though, isn't the only thing you have to worry about. You could get robbed or even sell high-value items on the black market for a bit of extra coin. Any unclaimed items can also be sold as well. It's an extremely addicting game that makes you want to try just one more level, to see how much cash you can get and what strange items there are. I really hope this does wind up on the Switch. Not just because it's a fun game, but also because one of the items you can lose in this game is a Switch. Well, it looks like it anyway. It's just a little different due to copyright reasons. Still, the game would more than belong, and it's certainly worth playing. Wishlist Lost but Found today. A cute tale of talking animals and... boba? Let's try Call of Boba. Here you play as a penguin who returns home after the stresses of the big city, only to start your own boba tea shop. This is an adorable pixel art game that has you creating drinks and serving them to the customers in your shop, all while having to live through day-to-day life, similar to Stardew Valley. You also participate in these shoot-'em-up levels in your dreams, where you shoot enemies with boba and collect ingredients to use for your drinks the next day. The game is incredibly adorable and easy to get sucked into, especially if you are into cozy pixelated simulators. Plus, the boba tea in this game looks phenomenal, and you'll want to give it a try. I would love to play this cute tea-making game on the Nintendo Switch. Wishlist Call of Boba now. Oh no! Look at this mess! Welp, let's get cleaning with the next demo, Spilled. Spilled is a charming game where you clean up an oil spill at a lake. You use your boat to collect all the pollution and sell it to upgrade your boat. Use the upgrades to collect and sell more hazardous material, and eventually unlock new areas with more messes. Rinse, repeat, and recycle until the demo is over. It's pretty simple, but probably the most fun gameplay loop of the demos I've tried. The art style reminds me a lot of watercolors, and I love the sense of progression you get as you continue to clean up and beautify the lake. You can even collect cute animal achievements too. Overall, it's a relaxing game experience, something you can easily play, put down, and pick back up again. In other words, something that would truly fit the portability of the Nintendo Switch perfectly. Plus, the really cool thing is this game was made by one person who actually lives on a boat. And for a year and a half of production, it truly is a magical indie gem so far. It's a fun and interesting way to bring awareness to the very real environmental problems that exist in our world. Spilled certainly does clean up nicely. Wishlist Spilled today. Next up, get ready for adventure with Sopa. Sopa is a game where you play as a young boy, getting potatoes for his nana. Only a frog with a hat steals them before you can get them home. Happens all the time. Following the frog, you wind up in this strange pond, and you must get the potatoes back from the purple thief. This is definitely one of the weirder demos I've tried. And that's including the game about houses and relationships. You're riding rapids, talking to dolphins, there's a frog black market, lots of weird stuff going on. You know, adventure. I love the music of this game. There's a Spanish feel to it with the instruments, and you can tell the game is inspired by Hispanic culture. Plus, everything just looks wacky and cartoony, with humorous dialogue to match. Couple that with some quick time events and mini games, and it's a solid demo for a game that makes me interested to try the full release. I will say this was the glitchiest game of the demos, especially in a section where you are rowing in rapids. The boat was kind of going all sorts of places, but I still liked it, glitches and all. I feel the wackiness of this game and the lighthearted subject matter would fit perfectly on the Nintendo Switch. Wishlist Sopa today. And finally, our last demo, Pine, A Story of Loss. In this demo, you play as a woodcutter, going through his life day after day in the woods, chopping down trees and doing his daily errands, all while dealing with grief of losing someone he holds dear. The gameplay itself consists of hitting certain button sequences in order to complete the actions like chopping wood, gardening, or collecting hay. The real stars of the show are the visuals that look absolutely gorgeous and portray the subject matter appropriately. The demo conveys this story of loss without any dialogue, which certainly isn't easy to do, but Pine goes about it so naturally, making you feel the feels even when doing the simplest of tasks. Plus, the moments of happiness you get with the woodcutter and what I assume is his wife are always so nice to see, only for the game to snap you back to reality, which makes things oh so heartbreaking. I kind of adore it, even if it does make me a little sad. Regardless, I would love for this game to come to the Nintendo Switch, as the console always needs artistic indie games like this that tell a fantastic story. Wishlist Pine, A Story of Loss, today. And there you have it, some Steam Next Fest demos I tried and want to see on the Nintendo Switch. All of these demos were creative, out of the box, and most importantly, fun and interesting to play. Still, there were a lot that I didn't play and you might have. So what are some of the demos that you liked? Let me know in the comments below. Either way, I hope to see some of these games come to my favorite console, and I hope you get to experience them when they are finally published. See you at the next Steam Next Fest. Now, time to find my house a lover. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, and check out my other videos too. Special thanks to all the people who helped me out with the video. I couldn't have done it without all of you. Also, an extra special thanks to my Patreon patrons, including Mantle Ferox and Savacom. If you'd like to join the Patreon, the link is in the description below, along with my Blue Sky, Twitch, and Instagram. Thank you so much, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good night.